Hey everybody, Eilers-Heffner, Sapphire Ambassador. I just wanted to share really quickly how to manage priorities and make sure that your top priorities and your plexus can be priorities, how they both can be priorities. So a lot of times we think, okay, God, family, business, or God, family, job, or God, family, and then hobby. It's something, however you think of how you prioritize your life. And mine is to prioritize my relationship with the Lord, to prioritize my family, and then to prioritize my plexus business. Because one, I love it. I love helping people. I love teaching. I love the products. I love the opportunity and the rewards that Plexus gives us, because I worked in healthcare for nearly 20 years full time. And the stark difference that I see in a healthcare corporation versus a health and wellness company, and how employees, so I'm not an employee of Plexus, but sort of an employee of Plexus, as well as the actual employees of Plexus, the ones that are there working in the office buildings and making the day-to-day happen. They have shared their stories multiple times. Different people have different people in the warehouse, different people in customer service, people working on payroll or whatever. And our employees of Plexus are also highly rewarded for years of service, for doing a good job. There are people that are moving up in the company. For instance, my original coach, Jake, he is, I can tell, like, I haven't seen it come yet, but I have seen him move up a little, and I just feel like he's really going to keep moving up within that company. So the actual employees of the company are also being rewarded. And I see us working hard. I see us doing what we can and helping people to use these products and to share the opportunity and the rewards that Plexus is giving us, like cars and trips and just a huge paycheck and recognition and development of new products. They aren't like, well, that's good enough. Here you go. Here's your triplex. That's good enough. No, they're not stopping. They're not stopping at that. And so I'm super excited and passionate about a lot of things that Plexus has to offer, and the values and beliefs align as well. So anywho, enough about me. So I am super passionate about being a good wife and mom. I'm super passionate about teaching my children about the Lord. And so my children are my priority, right? But guess what? So is my business. So is my business. When I was working a full-time job as a physical therapist, my job was a priority, because if I didn't show up, I was going to lose my job that was the financial staple of my family. While my husband was in school for a second degree and things like that, then it meant that I was the one working. And I started my business while I had 4 little kids, while I was working full time. And I never neglected my children or my husband or my house. Okay. There were all of those things still happening, and I was able to prioritize my Plexus business. So I want us to examine our mindset and our belief and our hearts in this issue, that it's in a lot of ways. I've heard over the years, well, she already has a really big job. She doesn't have time to do Plexus. Guess what? I had a really big job. I didn't have time to do Plexus. That's false. That isn't anyone else's place to judge what I have time for. And it's not our place to judge our friends and family's time schedule. Okay. So yeah, I was busy, but guess what? Busy people know how to get things done. Busy people know how to prioritize. So we can prioritize. Oh my goodness, sorry. I want to make sure the dog wasn't going to escape out the door and push it open. There you go. Anyway, I think also that we need to adopt the idea that we can be good moms and good wives and good workers in our 9 to 5s and still be a good Plexus ambassador and still build a successful business. I want to challenge you in this, because it really does not have to be an either or. Just think of, okay, I'm driving to my 9 to 5, or was, I don't do that now, but I did for years. And what did I do during that time in the car? Before Plexus, I listened to the radio, I prayed, I talked to my mom on my way home. I thought about different things, What did I do at that time once I started my Plexus business? I started listening to books. I started to have business phone calls, and I started listening to training videos. What did I do when I would go for a walk with my kids? The first half of my walk, I would talk to them and interact with them a lot. And then I would maybe sometimes, not all of the time, you guys, not all the time, but I would put on a training something and listen to it as we're finishing our walk. What about when we're putting makeup on or taking a shower or getting dressed or doing dishes or doing laundry? Do you see that you can actually prioritize your normal day-to-day activities that you need to be doing and also prioritize your business? It does not have to be an either or. There are times that we can trade our binge watching of Netflix or even our minimal watching of Netflix for some personal growth. There is a lot of time to be found in your day. And if the other thing is that you have to adopt this idea and belief. So if you're lacking the belief that our products are not what we know that they are to be, what I know they are to be, or if you're lacking a belief in the opportunity that Plexus is offering us with the financial stability and opportunity we have there, or you're lacking a belief in yourself. So if you're having trouble understanding or adopting or shifting that, yes, I can prioritize my business and I can prioritize the other important things in my life, then it usually is a belief issue. So if you're having trouble with that, reach out to your sponsor because we can help you. We can point you to videos to watch. We can talk you through it. We can help you to develop that belief too. Okay. So what I want you to also realize is that it's okay to have non-negotiables in your business. It doesn't mean that we are saying, well, I'm working my business, and you let the dishes pile up to kingdom come, or you quit cooking all of a sudden because you're working your business, or you legit quit spending meaningful time with your family. Okay. So that is not an excuse to say, well, I'm prioritizing my business. No, you're going to have to sit down and figure out what your most important tasks are in your home and in your relationships. Not that relationships are tasks, that's the wrong word, but figuring out what things you can be doing in your meaningful relationships in order to keep that moving in a positive direction, as well as the meaningful activities that you can do to make sure your Plexus business is a priority. So the hard and fast, the long and short of that is setting office hours, setting non-negotiables, and setting non-negotiables in your family and your business. Maybe you have a date night every night with your husband, every Friday night. So we've moved into this. We used to do home date nights on Saturday nights after the kids were in bed, when the kids were little, when I was not interested in getting a babysitter all the time and all that, because I was already working. I worked on the weekends. And so we'd put the kids to bed and we would have a home. We would get takeout for us. We would watch a movie. We would spend time together. Okay. And now we have the privilege of having older children and we can go out. And so that is a non-negotiable. And with our schedule of our children's schedules now impacting our schedules and not just us impacting our children's schedules, we've had to shift that, but it doesn't mean it's not a priority. Maybe your IPA time has to shift, but it doesn't mean it's not a priority. We have to understand that we can have multiple priorities and it's okay. You also need to just be careful with how you're venting and talking to your husband about your business. If he is not fully on board with this, then if you're complaining about, well, this person turned their sub off and, oh my goodness, I'm talking to all these people and they haven't decided to join yet. He sees you frustrated and he is not going to want to protect you. He's going to want to say, well, then don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. He doesn't want to see you stressed out. My husband reminded me a couple of days ago, he's like, hey, happy wife, happy life. My wife isn't happy. There's only so much that I'm going to call her out on because I don't want to be in a position. I don't want to be in the doghouse, right? And so if he is seeing that, he may say, you know what, just don't do it then. And you're like, no, I want to. Okay, well, then don't complain to him. Share with him the good things. Share with him the possibilities. Get him dreaming with you. Share with him your dreams of this business and what that means for your family. I did a lot of Plexus before my husband was fully on board because of a lot of reasons, but I kept going. I made it a priority. I shifted some things. I helped to delegate responsibilities to other people in my household, and I made my Plexus business a priority. The other thing that I want you to keep in mind and adopt, yes, you can start a business on 30 minutes a day, as long as you are also beyond that 30 minutes, as long as you're also reading personal growth books, as long as you are also getting on Monday night calls and Thursday night book clubs, as long as you are considering that 30 minutes, you're reaching out and following up time, and maybe one post, like you might have to do another post beyond that 30 minutes. It all is kind of a personal thing that I sometimes take a while to get posts up because I have to think it through and I want to be really thoughtful, like Ruby Retreat. I have more to say about Ruby Retreat, but I have to be in a position of thinking that through and making sure it's meaningful and not coming across weird. So I haven't done all of my posting yet for Ruby Retreat, and that is okay. But we have to also realize that you can start a business in 30 minutes a day, but as you're coming up the ranks and as your goals grow and are stronger and bigger, you are going to likely have to delegate more than 30 minutes. Maybe it's 30 minutes twice a day. Maybe it's 45 minutes twice a day. So this kind of depends on a lot of things. It depends on how quick you are at sending messages and following up. It depends on your goals. So if your goal is to go to Ruby by February and you're only talking to 2 new people every day and following up with 2 new people, depending on where your points are, getting to Ruby by February may not be accurate for where you're at. And it doesn't mean we change the goal. It means we change something else. So we change how much work we're doing, or we shift the time frame. And these are also conversations you need to have with your sponsor. So we want to help you identify the goal, what you're willing to put in, and if that's a reasonable expectation and goal for that amount of time. I think that legit, what I would really, really like people to be committing to is 2 hours a day, 2 hours of reaching out and following up. Okay. Because I am a firm believer that a lot of your video trainings, or, when you're like, gosh, I really need to work on recruiting, I'm going to go watch some recruiting videos. I'm a firm believer that that is outside of your 2 hours. So if you have a strong goal to go emerald, to go diamond, which it should be, I would hope, that's why you're watching this video, then you really need to put in a longer time frame. And it doesn't mean that it's like perfect tomorrow, but these are things that you can start to shift your schedule and shift your other priorities around in order to make that happen. I think that when we say 30 minutes a day and you can be an emerald, well, maybe for some people, maybe, but that's really going to come down with a very individualized discussion with you and your sponsor of where you're at now, what your output really is. Your output meaning your recruiting and your developing of leaders, as well as your retention, so likely I think you're going to need a little bit more than 30 minutes a day. And with that end goal of working up to 2 hours a day. And again, that is beyond team calls and book clubs. That's additional time. So when you break that down, you're at 13 hours a week. That's really all that is 13 hours a week. To bring in multiple thousands of dollars a month and have that potential, that is not too much time to put in. I prefer to put in more time than that. I work very hard to put in more time than that most days, because I have strong goals and strong business goals, and I really want to be there for my team. Okay. So those are my things that I just really wanted to talk about with you. And it does come back down to the slight edge. If you missed the slight edge when we did it as a book study, either watch the recordings, grab the book, read 3 pages a day until you can get all the way through it or something. I mean, figure it out, right? You can read 2 books at the same time. I promise you can. I promise you can. And think about how what that comes down to is it's really easy to do the thing and it's really easy not to. It's really easy for me to drink the water. It's also really easy for me to say, I'm just going to sit here and read my book and not bother to lift my cup up and take a few sips out of my straw. I mean, it legit comes down to it's easy to do things. It's easy to not do things. And the longer we get out of the habit of doing things, the easier it is to not do them. So keep that in mind, that once things become a habit, once IPA becomes a habit, once coaching your team becomes a habit, once watching your videos for training becomes a habit, once getting on Monday night calls and Thursday night book clubs become a habit, then you will see a lot of needles moving forward in your business. And I just really feel firmly about all of this, that we definitely can have multiple priorities. And let me close with this. So Fallon shared at the end of Ruby Retreat in one of the last trainings, and she was talking about how to build a legacy business, and a couple of things that stood out to me during that talk. And one was, I never doubted that I could. I had no one saying that I wasn't going to be a diamond. So therefore, she never doubted that she was going to be a diamond. There was no one saying, oh, you're crazy, Fallon. Don't even go there. Why are you thinking about that? That's silly. She either blocked it out or just didn't have people telling her that. She didn't have doubt. And that is something that you can work on and you can change. You need to believe in yourself. And 2, she said that when they told the kids about the yacht trip, so Star Diamonds are in the yacht trip, and they told the kids, and one of her daughters said, Mama, so first of all, let me set the stage. They're so excited. Their family loves water sports. They love boating. The kids love the water. And her daughter said, Mama, it's because you dreamt big. You decided to dream this, that we get to do this. And we're so proud of you. Okay. You guys, envision yourself there. Envision your family and your children saying, Mama, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you, because that is what can happen when we make these small, slight changes over time. They compound. And also when we just prioritize our life, prioritize our business, and prioritize our family. Okay, so, all right, that is what I have. If you have questions, please reach out to your sponsor. We are definitely here to help, and we want to help you with the numbers game. We want to help you with the goal setting, and we want to help you have a good solid work plan. All right, so winning day, let's check the files in Rock Your Purpose, check the files section, check the winning week. When you are doing those things on a regular basis, when you have extra time, do that multiple times in the same day, instead of there's 5 lines, split that line in half, those lines in half. Now you have 10 outreaches that you can do. Okay. So follow that, follow the winning day, follow the winning week. That's your recipe. And yeah, go forth in priorities. That's what I have to say. All right, you guys, have a good day.